past many years. And so I always have, always have confessed at Conscious Positive platform and other platforms that, so whatever topic I conduct here is not something that I bring from books and share it. I share it from my own experiences. Of course, the framework is the larger picture. Today's topic is all about anger. So we have been listening about anger. We have been learning from anger from various people. And we also have been practicing anger management from various techniques and of things, and also been listening about anger from the spiritual perspective. So let's uncover a few aspects of anger today. What exactly is anger? What are the myths of anger? And how it's more to do with the anger management. A lot of people start managing anger. So the very fact that we say that is an anger management perspective that we want to talk about is more to do with the self-management, actually. So we'll talk about it today in the next 35 minutes. And we'll also have some kind of question and answer session. And as we progress, I'll just share my screen for a while. And one second. I can do that, I guess. So here am I. 1 second. 1 second. Here am I. Yes. Okay. So I'm just going to share my screen, and here is my screen. Okay. So we'll talk about myths of anger management, and the tagline says, "Is this anger for real?" So many times we believe that, is this anger, or is this sadness, is this frustration, or is this remorse, or what? So normally we're not able to identify what exactly anger is all about. And anger is something which is so deep hidden from ourselves that we don't even know. Many times there is a pent up emotion, there is a pent up anger, frustration that we just bring out. And is that the anger, or is that the anger that we're talking about? So let's understand. It's very difficult for us to really get every transformation in just 35 minutes, 40 minutes, but let's uncover it. Let's unearth what exactly is this. So before I go ahead, people who are on YouTube or Facebook or here at Zoom, would you like to share something about the topic on the chat box? If you don't want to comment on the video, it's okay. But if you want to comment on the chat box, can you do that right now? What do you mean by the anger management in your perspective? What exactly anger is all about for you? Just the random thoughts. When the moment you hear the word or listen to the word called anger management, what comes alive for you right now? Just put it in the chat box and share your views about what exactly is anger management for you. What have you been doing about anger management? What exactly are you expecting out of this session? That can also be your chat box written thing. So take a couple of minutes and center yourself and ask yourself, what exactly is anger management? What exactly is anger management for you? If someone can unmute yourself and come, that would be good. But if someone cannot come, then please put in the chat box. So it's very difficult for me to just, not difficult for you, even for you. If you are here and you don't share your thoughts, and even if you are listening passively, so can you just put in the chat box, what exactly do you mean by anger management?
I think anything that we do to control our anger, right? Either consciously, subconsciously. So that would come under anger management, maybe.
Okay. I think so. For you, the anger management is all about controlling anger. So is it about controlling anger, or is it about anger managing? So that's also the question that I have to ask you. So yeah, just be with this question. So is it about controlling or is it about something else? Okay. Anybody else would like to put in the chat box? Anybody else would like to put in the chat box? For example, right now, I mean, I am not very used to. I'm not very used to taking online sessions for people not coming on video, but I cannot blame you because all these consciously positive rituals are all about like that. I mean, that people are not used to come on video. People are okay not to come on video. So there is an anger within me right now. Not the anger, but there's a little uneasiness within me, and I call it as an anger. So do I need to manage it or do I need to manage my own self? This is something that I also ask myself whenever I come to the consciously positive session. Had I been very regular in the consciously positive session, or has it been the only speaker? So I would have really make sure that nobody is off video. So that's also something that is coming in me. So is this the anger? Am I going to manage it? Am I going to control it? Or if I am going to have that anger, how can I take and conduct this session? So if there is an anger still within me, people will ask, "Oh, Vinay, you are a coach and you are still be angry about little small thing." Every person who come on the session deal with this. You're not coming on video, not people not coming on video. That's okay, fine. I'm not blaming you right now. So all I'm talking about is this the anger which is deep within me. So let's explore it in the next 35 session. Even if you don't share it, even if you don't come on video, okay, that's fine. I assume it wherever you are perfect, whole and complete. Let's go ahead to the next level. So what exactly is anger and why you have to manage it? Now, I'm not saying reduction of anger. I'm not saying diminishing of anger. I'm not saying uh, controlling your anger. All I'm asking, or I'm talking about managing. But is it all about managing it? Is anger to be managed? Is anger to be understood, or is it to be managed? Uh, is anger to be seen, or is it to be managed? Or is it you who have to manage yourself for the anger? So let me just share a story. It's a very brief story of someone who was a meditator and used to meditate at various situations and various circumstances and various places. And one fine day he thought, let me meditate in a boat. I'll sit in the boat, in the pond, and I will meditate there. Okay. And he started meditating, and suddenly, he his boat got hit by another boat. And he got so angry. Why the hell people are hitting me on my boat? Don't they see that I am meditating right now? Can't they see? Am I not visible to them? He did not shout. He didn't shout it, but he was not that shout. But the anger was within him. And he immediately opened his eyes and started yelling at the person. And they found it. This was the empty boat who hit his boat. That was the empty boat on the pond, which is moving around because of the waves of water, and that empty boat hit his boat. And he suddenly got so angry about himself. Oh, why the hell I'm angry at someone else? It is not about situations, it's not about circumstances, it's not about environment. It is about what is going in my mind. It is not about managing or controlling things from outside. It is all about what is going within me. There is unfulfilled expectations within me. I'm upset about a lot of incomplete ideas which is there. I've expected life to be a certain way, but life is not that certain way. I expected people to be a certain way, that people are not certain way. And I kept those things inside me, and it is the inside me which gets triggered from the outside situation. Just like the boat hit this boat for that meditator. So what is that which is inside you, which is troubling you day in and day out, which makes you angry? What is that you have to work for your own work within your own self, which can make you angry day in and day out? Is it all about the goals which are unfulfilled? It is about the health issues that you are really worried about? and you get angry at the drop of the hat when someone asks you if there is an incompletion of life, all about all your years. The parents have not behaved the way you have. The son has not behaved in the way you have been expected him to behave, or your spouse is not the way you are expecting her to be, or whatever. So there is a hidden thing which is inside you. This is inside you, which makes you angry. It has nothing to do with the outside situation, as it seems like. A lot of people start blaming about it. So it's all about managing your own self rather than managing anger. So today's topic is what myths of anger management. The very fact that we say that is about anger management, it is nothing about anger management. It is about who you are from deep within yourself. I mean, if you are if you are incomplete about a lot of ideas in the physical, mental, social, financial, and spiritual aspects, then then you are definitely showing up. You're definitely showing up with your expressions. So it's not about the outside word that you are angry about. So there's no more anger management. It's about self-management. So let's go more deeper. Let's uncover it. Let's understand uh, about anger. Now, lot many people will say anger in a very generic way. Oh, I got angry. He was angry. He was shouting on top of his voice, and he was angry. But lot many times you do not even know there is an intensity. There is a decibels. There is an octaves of anger as it progresses from one level to a different level. The very first part is this silent anger. Someone says to you, there is a situation which is not as per your expectation. You're expecting something to happen in your life within the physical realm or a financial realm or in the relationship. Or you expected someone to behave in a certain way, the person has not been behaving in a certain way, and there is a very silence inside you. So this silence, there is a deep expectation. Koi baat nahi. In the next level, in the next situation, the person can improve. So you go with a hope that tomorrow the things can go better, and you keep your anger silently within your own self. But never do you know that this is going to lead to the next level and the next level and the next level and to the next level, and suddenly it just blows off from your mind, blows off from your head or from your heart. Okay. The second is the guilt anger. As you progress more about anger, it's a guilt anger. So people sometimes you get to people and start talking to them, and you see them very very angry about situations, right? And they used to get very angry about certain point of problems, but never do we know that they are not angry at you. They are not angry as such. They are not angry people. They might be some guilty. They must be guilty about certain thing. They think that I should have been like this. My life should have been like that. I should not have been behaving like that. And they become very guilty. And that's also the anger. Sometimes people make them so guilty, bloody. They say bloody, why you are? So using this word bloody, because people actually use this word bloody. Why are you angry? A lot many people will say, why are you angry? And they become more guilty. Oh, I should not be angry. And that makes them even more guilty. I should not be angry. But don't you think anger is a very natural emotion? Think about for a while. Isn't it anger a very natural emotion? Can you ever suppress your anger, try and control and suppress your anger? You will never ever be able to do that. But that's what all our lives we want. We think anger is such a bad thing. Anger should not be there. People should not be angry. But you are so angry. You are so silently angry about that aspect that why people go getting so angry. You're also angry about it, isn't it? Okay. And there's a video game also which also says Angry Bird. So anger is not an emotion which is to be controlled. And second is the camouflaged anger. Okay, you start commenting on that. You start, giving a taunt on somebody because you're so bloody angry about certain aspects. You start giving a taunt to people, and although it looks like you are happy, you're not sad, but you're so sad within yourself. You start giving different comments, start narrating some stories about the anger. I mean, about why you should not be angry. That's also a kind of a camouflage. You cover up the anger with some sweet things. That's a camouflage anger. And sometimes you get so depressed about situations. Sometimes you are you're feeling so low. You're feeling so low, and you get angry. Now, why I'm sharing it? Because normally it is not been seen as different aspects of anger. The various intensities of anger, you consistently become angry, but what and where and how and why are you angry is something also you have to understand, because it's all about managing your own self. Because if you know that you're silently getting angry, you will work on it. If you think that you are angry because of the guilt that you're carrying, you will work on it. If you think that this is a camouflage anger, you will work on it. Even if you have to deal with an angry person, if you understand about what kind of anger the person is there, you will actually deal with that situation accordingly, right? So that's why we have to understand what is the intensity, what are the intensities of anger. It is all about managing your own self and others. Then somebody is getting bullied about situations, and they get angry about it. So many times people take bully as okay, but it is so deep wound that bully in schools can lead to such pent up anger that it goes years by years, and it creates sour relationship as people grow up, even when they get married. So the past bullying in the schools also creates an impact in your mind, that and so much so in the subconscious mind, that starts showing up when people grow up, even as adults. Okay, the children bullying impacts people as adults. So that is also the bullying. And sometimes it is so righteous anger. The people are fighting for a cause, people are standing for a cause. And now, that is that anger good or bad? People are fighting for a cause. There is a certain situations outside, and you are not really happy about, people not really doing doing the cleanness outside in the parks and so on and so forth. So I mean, there's a righteous anger. Now, when you say these are the various intensities and octaves of anger, you will realize that it is not the angry person. Anger is a behavior. You are not angry personally. You have a behavior of, yes, you are angry. When you distinguish between the two, you can easily disintegrate it. I mean, an example, during the Diwali days, what used to happen, what was happening outside my park. It was so rustic, children or of age above, say, 14 to 15 years, and they used some dustbins in the park, and to create a tamasha and loud noises. They actually had those patakas in that particular dustbin thing, so that it creates more noise and everything. And I was very angry because I was so righteous about the fact that it can create accident somewhere, and also is not good. The loud noise is also not good for the animals outside there. I was so righteous about that thing that I fought for the thing, and I also, got to that extent to someone, because person was saying, okay, it's okay, बच्चे हैं तो सब कुछ कर लेते हैं, but I didn't stop myself, and of course I was not loud, I was not abusive, but I was so angry that I became so righteous at that point in time that I'm going to fight for this cause. This should not be repeated outside my house or anywhere else, because it's not good for everyone. So if you're fighting for a cause, that's also righteous anger. Okay. Then people use anger as a defense. Okay. They just control themselves. Okay. So that someone is not confronting me, someone is not saying anything to me, मेरे को कोई सुना ना दे, मेरे को कोई बता ना दे, तो वो डिफेंस की तरह एंगर को यूज करते हैं. Start blaming people, they start getting angry. Oh, don't talk to me, I'm not interested, just go away. Now, this is also a kind of anger. But the most important part, many families have seen, people in a lot of organizations also have seen, anger has become a habit. People say, okay, anger तो होना ठीक है ना, angry होना तो ठीक है. गुस्सा होना तो आता, कोई दिक्कत थोड़ा है, एंग्री होना कोई प्रॉब्लम थोड़ा आ गई. So it becomes a habit, so that so and so forth, the people will not even realize that they're getting angry about it. So these intensities when you see, and when you deal with an anger, whether for yourself or for the others, you understand this is what the anger is all about. So anger is not to be controlled. Anger is not to be managed. Anger is all about understanding which part are you right now. Because it's all about who you are as a person who have to grow as an individual and as a persona. So these are the intensities of anger. If it is making some sense to you, so you can actually share it. If it won't make some sense to you, that's okay. But these are the intensities of anger, and people realize that when you actually deal the anger and in this category, you can find out the solutions immediately because you understand the cause of the situation. Most of the people would not understand the cause of the problem, and they start fighting the impact. That has been said that 70% of the problems will get solved when they understand the cause or what exactly is the problem for that matter. So if you understand what is the anger about, then things go in a different tone. So I'm going to cover up also, some myths about anger. So most important part of anger myth is जो हम बोलते हैं हिंदी में, अरे यार किसी ना किसी को गुस्सा तो आ ही जाता है, कभी ना किसी ना किसी को गुस्सा तो आता ही आता है. गुस्सा तो आना एक आम बात है, हर एक को गुस्सा तो आता ही आता है. Everyone gets angry from time to time. I mean, how in the world we can just start believing it that yes, anger is okay. Okay, anger is okay, but remaining in anger just for the simple fact and believe that everyone gets angry from time to time is something that we can start working on it. I'm not saying that you should control your anger. I'm not saying that anger is bad. I'm not saying anger is a stupid conversation. No, I'm not saying that. Because there are a lot of unfulfilled expectations over the years that has built up and that becomes a sanskara also, as you say, in spirituality. But you got to work on it. But believing it ki anger hona aa hi jata hai, everyone gets angry from time to time is something that we also have to start thinking about it. The second part is anger is a negative emotion. There's a great myth. हम बोलते हैं एंगर का मतलब एक बहुत नेगेटिव इमोशन है. यस, हमें ये समझना है कि एंगर का इम्पैक्ट क्या होता है. देयर इज एन इम्पैक्ट ऑफ एंगर, एंड if I see that there is an impact of the anger, if I'm okay with that impact, that's fine. If I'm not okay with this impact, then we have to work on it. We cannot just rule out angry is bad, being angry is bad. Angry, ये emotion होना ही नहीं चाहिए, anger का emotion आना ही नहीं चाहिए, right? So being angry is bad is a very very misnomer conversation. I'm not saying it's good either. But the point I'm trying to say, let's understand anger in a deeper way rather than just rubbing off from our head that anger should not be here. It's not a negative emotion. Sometimes anger becomes a positive emotion. We don't even know. People who understands how to use anger in a way, they create miracles, they create miracles in life. When I'm angry about the situation outside, which is not really happy thing, people are fighting for nothing, and I use that anger within me and to really create a harmonious society out there, and by designing some programs for them. So this is, I'm using an anger in a positive emotion. So anger is not a negative emotion. Every emotion has to be clearly experienced, right? Every emotion is important, so we should not suppress one emotion. So second and third and important myth is also about venting your anger or by physically expressing it less of thing. Actually, you are more angry. तो हम कई बार बोलते हैं कोई बात नहीं, उसको गुस्सा निकालने दो, जिसको निकालना है निकालने दो, उसको पूरा गुस्सा निकालने दो. And there is never a pura gussa. There is never a complete vent out. Okay, so people will say, okay, I'm not saying it that you should not understand the person who is venting out anger. Yes, you should understand the person, the deep emotion the person is going through. The moment you understand the person with a deeper level, you can connect with the person and you can miraculously see that yes, the anger mellows down. But just to observe, okay, कोई बात नहीं, इसको जो निकालना निकाल. Okay, let him say what has to say, and you're not doing anything. Is a myth. It's it's not. It's not. If you just keep on asking, you keep on expecting, एक बार गुस्सा निकल जाएगा ना, तब बात कर लेंगे. This is not. People want you to understand. People don't want you to just listen and yelling. And if you don't understand, if you just are a witness and not doing anything, not even actively or passively or deep listening, you are making the person more and more angry if you allow yelling to happen. No, that's something a myth. And blowing up is justified. No, there's no justification of blowing up. You cannot justify, oh, I got angry because of this. Oh, I blew up because I was so frustrated of that person who was not giving me food in the right time. I was so frustrated, so very angry about the situation. That person was not behaving the way I expected. The person was verbally abusing me. So I blew off. I could not control myself. People will say boastfully, I can control everything, but I cannot see people lying. जब लोग गुस्सा करते हैं ना, तो पता क्या बोलते हैं, मुझे सब कुछ ठीक लगता है लेकिन मुझे किसी का झूठ पसंद नहीं है. I cannot see that people are lying. So they justify the anger, they justify the blow up. Okay, you can get angry, you can have that emotion of people when are lying. You can experience that emotion, but when you blow up, you justify one thing or the other. You blow up not because someone else. You cannot blow up this blow up because there is something that you're not able to manage within your own self. Okay. And this is something which is so particular, as Shabana mentioned, anger to be controlled. So I completely rub off this idea that anger should ever be controlled. You try controlling it. You couldn't try, it'll blow up more. You cannot control anger at all. You can control yourself, but you cannot control the anger which is coming and steaming up from you. You can handle your own self, but you cannot control the anger. You cannot stop the anger from coming out. You cannot control that. How can you control that? You can never control that. Okay? And another misnomer or another myth that you see about anger is some people are just born with that temper and can't be helped. Lot many times, when spouses fight with each other, okay, उसको तो गुस्सा ही है, इसके तो परिवार में ही ऐसा है कि गुस्से आते ही आते हैं. I saw people getting transformed when they get a different environment. I was interviewing or I was coaching someone, and he was just so cool and calm. And I asked him, were you like that? I mean, since your childhood, अब आप शुरू से क्या ऐसे ही थे क्या? And he narrated the story about his genetic behavior, about his family. That everyone gets so angry, and he got a job in an organization whose culture was being compassionate, and they used to respect each other, they could appreciate each other, they used to talk to each other in a very gentle way. And he really transformed his anger in a very better way. I mean, not only transformed his anger while he was at work, but his family also got transformed after he got this job for 1.5, 2 years. The whole family got transformed. So considering that people are just born with this anger and with this temper, and it can't be helped, is actually making you feel so bad about that, I cannot deal with this person at all, and you just shut the door with the other person because we cannot be helped. Yes, you can help. I give you one small single tip right now. If you have to deal very effectively with a person who is angry at the top of the head, आप सिर्फ एक काम करो, start giving deep listening. Start listening to the unsaid. उसको बस सुनना शुरू कर दो. ऐसा शुरू किसको लगा कि यार ये मुझे सुना जा रहा है, उसको लगे कि यस मुझे कोई सुन रहा है. Okay, I don't know whether you watched that movie called Kabhi Haan Kabhi Na. वहां पे there's a person who used to और वो जो बहुत बड़ा अंडरवर्ल्ड का डॉन था. And you know, Shah Rukh Khan appeared, and you started understanding of who he is, and through his song, he understood the whole story. And the person was in tears. The person is understanding me, and the whole anger to the society went off, and they became good friends. So if you have to deal with a person who is angry, start giving a deep listening to that person. And when you give the deep listening to the person, you will be amazed that you will feel so आपके अंदर ऐसा लगेगा कि मेरे को कितनी करुणा जागेगी उसके लिए, कंपैशन जागेगा, यार कितना परेशान होगा, इतना गुस्सा क्यों कर रहा है वो. And you will feel so compassionate about that person, and when the moment you throw your love to that person will get transformed. I've seen it in my personal life, a lot many people in my life, in my coaching experiences, people get transformed when the moment they get love from other person, right? Now this is again a myth that people are just born with a temper. Now, this another part of the anger is people लोगों को लगता है कि मैं जब गुस्सा करूंगा ना तो मैं लोगों को डरा दूंगा और मैं अपना काम निकाल दूंगा. So, if you want to earn respect, you got to intimidate. If you want to be a boss, you have to act like a boss. You got to be angry at your employees. This is again an anger myth. You got to be angry. You can lead people. You can earn respect by smear spreading of love. You can talk to people. If your ego is on a different way, and you just park your ego and you start you talking to people in a harmonious way, you can actually see people are getting transformed. Again, the most important myth of the anger is you start confronting people when they are angry. So my suggestion is when people are angry, give them love, give them compassion, listen to them, but don't confront them. Why are you angry? Why are you shouting at top of the voice? You should not do it. You are always like that. You should. This is a confronting behavior right now. When you are doing with the person who is angry, you're even actually, you know, आप आग में और घी डाल के बहुत बड़ा गुस्से का हवन कर रहे हो, right? This is again the few anger myths. Everyone gets angry from time to time. Anger is a negative emotion. Venting your anger by yelling or physically expressing it less enough. Blowing up is justified. If you ignore angry feelings, they will go away. So whole paradigm of anger is not about controlling it, suppressing it, not about managing it. It is all about understanding who you are with anger and getting yourself in a transformed way. Okay, so this is about anger. Now, before I end this, I would have loved to have an interactive session, but situations were not like that. We were not really responding or putting anything in the chat box. But yes, I can ask for people who can ask questions and answers. So, but the last thing that I want to share here in my PPT is, so we all need anger. It's a very natural emotion, right? Because anger identifies, I mean, this is again a very weird and paradoxical statement कि मुझे लगता है कि यार जो गुस्से पर होता है वो तो जानवरों की तरह behave करता है. हम कितनी बार ऐसा बोलते हैं. But actually our animal heritage has wired us to protect and defend ourselves in the tribe. Sometimes you got to be really angry. You have to show your anger because you have to protect yourself. You cannot become a timid person. Okay, ठीक है, आप मेरे को कुछ भी बोल दो, आप सब कुछ चलता है, अरे कोई बात नहीं, मैंने तो स्पिरिचुअलिटी को सीखा, मैं तो सब कुछ, बस स्पिरिचुअलिटी को आपने सीखा तो आपको ये समझना चाहिए कि sometimes anger is a good emotion and you use that anger in a good way. You take a stand in the life of your life, stand in the matter of your life. You got to take a stand in the matter of your life, right? So if we really need to face an injustice and you have to defend yourself, anger gives you bandwidth and energy to mobilize your defenses. So we need a healthy anger. We need to understand that anger is not that bad at all, right? And it's all about who you are as a person, who are growing and evolving through anger by understanding your own self in an angry situation. I've really done this for myself. The people around me, always used to call me an aggressive person. Yes, I am a Leo. I'm an aggressive person. I have been very aggressive all my life. I take a stand in a matter of lot many occasions. If you're not consciously positive, I used to get angry at people who are managing the whole show. Not that I don't respect them, but I get angry at them. I get angry at them because I take a stand in the matter. I cannot see uh, consciously positive since last 3 to 4 years and still getting at a very slow pace. Oh, I'm saying that people, I'm not Maven Business Center and Cautious Positive are having different wings and doing things in a different way. I'm getting satisfied at each year. But not that I could not express my anger, and anger is such a bad emotion, I cannot tell. A lot of people get into the spiritual bypass mode and they will become nice, but they do not understand they are penting up the anger and it will blow off one day. So I'm not here to just do the goody things in my life. People used to call me aggressive earlier, even my family. But what I've really transformed from that situation, I've really worked upon my anger. I've really transformed this anger to a different emotion. So I also, and because I've understood my own self, not not I'm saying that I'm completely understood, I'm reached. No, I'm not. I'm far from reached. But all I'm saying is कि मैंने understand जब करना शुरू किया गुस्से को जिंदगी बहुत हसीन हो गई मेरी. But this is what I really want to end this session. I will invite people who would like to ask questions and unmute yourself and put it in the chat box, or you want to come here next 5 minutes or 7 minutes. I'll be ready to answer your questions.
Thank you, Vinay, for covering anger management in such a detail. And yeah, so would you also like to suggest, like, when someone is experiencing anger, what they can do about it? Because then there are, you have suggested what to do if someone else is angry, right? So I think many times it is suggested like we should always channelize it to do something which is more productive, and because anger is an energy and all of that. So what are your take on that?
So you cannot do anything at that point in time when you're angry. You have to do before that. My answer is, if you have not really worked upon yourself about that anger prior to get anger, at that point in time you cannot do anything, because जब wind आता है, जब बहुत आंधी आती है, तो you cannot do anything. So when anger emotion rushes you, at that point you cannot do anything. Let me be very honest and blunt in front of you. You cannot do anything at that point in time. But yes, you can contemplate after that. But yes, prior to that also. For example, every morning, if you start attending consciously positive sessions, so the probability of you getting angry and blow off becomes lesser and lesser. The intensity will go lesser and lesser. If you get in the morning, have a ritual and listen to the songs and bhajans and everything, or probably the peaceful songs, the probability of you getting blown off in the anger becomes better. If you have an awareness session in the morning, if you get to your contemplation mode, if you write in the morning, so you can also say, when I get angry at that situation, I will channelize my energy of anger in a different way. You have to think it before. But if you have not thought that before, at that point, you cannot do anything. I'm sorry to say that. A lot of people say, anger हो जाएगा तो ऐसे कर लो. ऐसे नहीं कर सकते. Counting कर लो 1 to 10. नहीं कर सकते. उस moment में नहीं कर सकते. पहले से decide करना पड़ेगा कि जब ऐसा होगा तो मुझे count करना पड़ेगा. Yeah.
But what about awareness? Like when you are angry and you get aware, okay, that is what is.
That's what exactly I'm saying. You have to be aware prior to that, prior to the situations. Let's say in the morning, you get into a mode where you write what are the probable situations during the day that I can find which can make me angry. If my wife doesn't behave well, write it down. How am I going to deal with that? If my team is not performing, how am I going to deal with that? Just write it down. If people are spitting on the roads and getting angry, how am I going to deal with that? If people are stuck in the traffic jam, so you write it, you contemplate and get aware. How are you going to deal with the anger prior to that? Okay, उस पहले से decide कर लो ना कि मुझे क्या करना है. सुबह decide करो. The awareness is prior to the event. But when that event happens, when you get angry, you cannot do anything if you have not planned it.
Yeah, possibly. But I think awareness helps even when someone is angry, like, or even means I see myself if which happen less, but then if I get aware, okay, that is what I'm like, that I'm getting angry.
Yeah,
So it helps.
exactly. What exactly I'm saying. Maybe right now my answers to you may not be landing in a way that you would have expected me to land. Maybe that can start with a very silent anger. Why not awareness being good? But the point of the matter is that what this anger, if you start understanding the anger and start understanding your own self,
Yeah.
prior to you get angry about it. Right?
Yeah.
For example, I talked about the story of a meditator who was meditating on the pond in the boat. So everything was inside. So the awareness has to come much earlier than the event which can make you angry.
Yeah. But I think the moment he got aware, like actually there is no one in the other boat, so he got calm as well. No?
Exactly. But that has to come. That's exactly what I'm saying. It has to come prior to the anger event. That's what I'm saying. Prior to that.
But he got angry first, and then he saw the boat is coming.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is empty.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's what exactly I'm saying. He got angry first. When he got angry first, he could not understand. But after that, he got an insight. Oh, अब तो आगे से जो भी सिचुएशन आएगी वो मेरे को अपने आप से मैनेज करना है. तो पहले से तैयारी कर लेगा ना वो. जैसे आज हमने देखा कि मिथ्स ऑफ एंगर के बारे में पता चला हमारे को. We got aware. If you really have to understand that. If you are aware, then moving forward, those situations which you have already planned will not give you a blown up effect. You can use the anger in a positive way, that's good, but it will not make you blow off. So the awareness comes first, yes. Even if you talk about the story, he got aware after the event. You can also be aware after the event. कई बार गुस्से के बाद भी आप अवेयरनेस आ जाती है. अरे मुझे ऐसा नहीं करना चाहिए था, मुझे हाथ नहीं उठाना चाहिए था, तो आगे से मैं कभी जिंदगी में हाथ नहीं उठाऊंगा. पहले से प्लान कर लो कि ऐसे इवेंट से मैं हाथ उठाता हूं. So it's all about awareness either prior to the event or post event.
Yeah. Thank you, Vinay. Anyone else has any question? Umaji, Vasanji? No.
Good morning, Vinay.
Good morning, Uma.
Yeah, I know. I just want to, because, your ego gets involved. Somebody else is shouting and, that person is blocking all, communication. And that person's wrong. What do you do?
Okay.
Then that time, how do you handle yourself? Because,
Look, that's what I'm saying. When egos are at play, at that point in time, you cannot do anything when you have not worked it earlier. So let me give you a heads up. Ego is always not seen in a way where ego has to be seen. Ego is not bad, first of all. Ego is your persona. Second point I'm trying to say that if there is an interpersonal conflict which you're talking about, that has to be managed, that has to be seen much earlier. That let's say I see my son always gets upset whenever he sees some moral values are violated outside. He gets very upset. He gets completely upset. And when he's upset, he gets very angry. And when I'm in his room, when the moment I start talking to him, he does not talk to me because he's so upset when he sees moral ethical values outside are broken and violated. Now, I could confront him. I would confront him and have a confrontation, but that is not going to work. But if I understand deeply why he's getting angry, then I would really understand and the whole relationship get on a different level. Similarly, whenever there's an ego clash, whenever there is an interpersonal conflict, so there is a value clash. You see there is a different value, the person is coming from the different value. And you start confronting with each other. Okay, and then there is a clash, and there is an anger. There is so much of emotion. But it first starts with a value clash. Whenever you see some people, some interpersonal conflict, there is a value clash. What are you value? What are you? Where do you stand for? आप किसी के लिए stand करते हो, किसी और के लिए stand करते हैं. जैसे for example, मेरे लिए क्या value? मेरे लिए सबसे highest value है love. Second integrity and then moral values. But बहुत लोगों के moral values ज़्यादा ऊपर है. तो मैं अगर किसी से बात करता हूँ, मेरा ईगो क्लैश होता है, तो मैं कहता हूँ जब लव एग्जिस्ट करता है ना, तो सब कुछ खत्म हो जाता है. जहां पे प्यार है वहां पे सब कुछ अच्छा है. दिस इज व्हाट आई बिलीव. बट इफ आई बिकम सो रिजिड एंड सो स्ट्रिंजेंट, ओ love has to be the first thing, why the person is not understanding, and then there is a conflict. But the moment I see the other person, which is also part of my love, yes, the other person is seeing moral values as the highest value, I will understand it. No, I will understand, and the whole scenario changes. I still am honoring love as the highest value, but I'm not asking the other person to have the same value. Because out of love, I'm understanding. So it's all about value conflict more rather than the anger. Anger comes later. The first is the value.
Okay. Yeah, but we all know that we should be not reacting but responding, but we forget always.
Yeah, we forget because we have not prepared. We are not prepared. Let's say in the morning, when we note down about 10 things, these are the areas that I have to respond, not react. Then things become better as you go and progress through the day. But if you don't prepare your morning and you just see things as it comes, then the reactions probability becomes higher. It's very difficult to control at that point in time.
Yeah, I know. I mean, one is aware, but when anger takes the better of you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Prepare yourself in the morning. And if you prepare yourself, anger will not take you better away. That's my promise. What is your morning ritual? See about it. How are you saying? Is there any daily journal that you're doing it, or is it daily awareness journal that you're doing it? That how my day is going to be, how I'm going to deal with the situations going forward. And you already know that what had made you angry earlier, what had made you reactive earlier. Then you put it down and you make a choice. If you want to make a choice that I'm going to respond in these situations in a better way. It's not easy. First of all, let me say it is not easy. Then say that I'm still practicing a lot. It's definitely not easy, but it really helps when you are aware, as Shabana also has said. So the awareness becomes the first perspective. And
You're in a
conscious
car.
like,
You're in a car and somebody bangs it from behind. How do you react
very
then?
good, very good question. I actually have experienced it earlier. मैंने ऐसे experience किया था बहुत समय पहले, और I planned it, not planned it, but I just thought कि कल को ऐसा कुछ होगा तो मेरे को कैसे behave करना पड़ेगा. And it actually happened one day. One fine day, what happened? I was just crossing the road and there was a person who banged his car to my car. And not only he banged, he started shouting and yelling at me that I had made a mistake, and it was clearly visible it was his mistake. And I could keep a calm because I had decided whenever that situation is going to come, I'm going to have to handle it beautifully. And not only that person was yelling at me, the person brought 3-4 gundas also. 4 more cars came to me. But I made up a point, I just called 112 and called those people because I know I was right. And I was standing on the ground. Look, I have not done any mistake. What we can do, जो नुकसान आपने मेरी गाड़ी में किया है उसके पैसे आप भर दो, जो मैंने आपका नुकसान मेरे से हुआ, जो आपको लग रहा है नुकसान हुआ, उसके पैसे मैं भर देता हूं. Let's do vice versa. And he was not understanding and I was not fearful. I was just standing on the road. I was cool and calm. I was responding at that point in time. Till the time 112 से पुलिस आई, उसने देखा, समझा, अंडरस्टैंड किया, लॉजिक्स को देखा कि मेरी गाड़ी किस जगह पे खड़ी हुई थी, कहाँ पे बैंग हुआ, एंड उसको बोला कि आपकी गलती है. उसने मुझसे पूछा आप उससे कुछ देना चाहते हो. देन अगेन आई रिस्पॉन्डेड मैं अगर चला भी जाऊंगा फिर कोर्ट के चक्कर काटूंगा, पैसे लगाऊंगा, मेरे इतना टाइम, मेरी अपॉर्चुनिटी कॉस्ट खत्म होगी। मैंने मना कर दिया, मैंने कोई केस नहीं किया उसके ऊपर। मैंने कहा क्या 15-15 हजार 20-20 हजार रुपये मेरा मेरा एक डे का कॉस्ट है, मैं क्यों फालतू के लिए एक दिन खराब करूंगा, मैं 2 दिन भी खराब करूंगा पैसे के चक्कर में। मैं 500-600-700 रुपए की रबिंग कराऊंगा, ठीक हो जाएगा मेरा। सो what I'm telling, I'm not saying that I'm good or great, but I somehow one fine day when I was traveling on the road, I saw people who were fighting on the road because बीच में इनका एक्सीडेंट हुआ। Then I start contemplating कि कभी मेरे साथ होगा तो मैं कभी कैसे बिहेव करूंगा। Then I started becoming more aware on that, and one fine day I actually responded, not reacted. I'm giving you the situation right now.
Wonderful.
So if the jerk can me like do that, आप तो आप भी कर सकते हो।
So I mean, the situation didn't get the better of you.
Yes, at that point in time. I'm not saying at all times, but when I contemplated those situations, it is a great probability that yes, situation cannot be better of you, cannot become better of you. It's all about practice, Uma. It's not about, it doesn't come in one day. It is not easy at all. Easier said than done. हमें react नहीं करना चाहिए, respond करना चाहिए। बहुत लोग पता नहीं क्या क्या बोलते हैं, पर आसान नहीं होता है, बहुत difficult होता है, पर करना होता है। जब करने के बाद जो satisfaction मिलता है, that becomes so big that you will really understand. It's so beautiful and beneficial for everyone.
क्योंकि अपना ही खून जला रहे हो बाद में।
Yeah.
सोचो तो।
Yeah. तो गुस्सा कैसा है ना, गुस्सा कैसा है कि दूसरों की गलती की सजा खुद को दे रहे हैं आप। दूसरे दूसरे पे गुस्सा कर रहे हैं तो मतलब गलती दूसरे कर रहे हैं, लेकिन सजा खुद को दे रहे हैं। We are so right about it. You're blowing up, you're risking our health because someone has done bad. How paradoxical is this? But this is who we are. This is how we have programmed ourselves. It's time for us to deprogram. Do practice, do consciously practice. That's what the consciously positive sessions in the morning Mevin has really come with. So we really thank Mevin Business Center to create these conscious positive sessions so that we are become better each day. Yeah. Okay, I hope I've answered a few questions, and I want to
Thank you, Vinay.
thank everyone.
Yeah.
Thank everyone.
Thank you so much, Vinay.
See you next.